Good morning, minions, and welcome to this week's episode of No More Mr. Fat Guy TV. Now, over the last few weeks, you've probably got used to me just sitting here and rambling on about one particular topic. I thought we'd try something a little bit different today, just mix it up a bit, let you know a couple of things that are going on with the Facebook running community, and maybe just tell you something that, there's been a couple of questions asked on the page this week. I'll just sort of clear up a couple of things. And then if I've still got time at the end of that, and Renee's going to love the fact that this 2 or 3 minute segment is getting longer and longer, then I may actually talk about something. So really, I just wanted to mention that I've recently asked on the page who's actually aiming to do any running this weekend, who's doing any events. So I've just picked out a few. I just want to mention that there's Jodie Suter is doing her second half marathon at Melbourne. Cassie Hoy is running a 10k, it's a Wolfville NS, I'm presuming that's Nova Scotia. There's May, who's doing the Great Bacon Run, 5k. That sounds fantastic. Presumably at the end you get a medal that's made of bacon, or you get a bacon buddy, or I don't know, anything to do with bacon's got to be good. Then we've got Erica Perry, who's doing her first half marathon in Albany, New York, USA. Erin of Push is finding her purpose and planning her first book, so all the best with that. I'm familiar with those things. And then basically, I mean, there's all the actions over in Melbourne this week. I think the Melbourne Marathon Festival, I think the Running Injury Free Revolution guys are going to be there, and I believe Kate from Running in the Rain is going to be there, and various others. So all the best with Melbourne. Now, just reflecting on last week, there was a lot of action locally in Fremantle. There was the Fremantle Half Marathon. For me personally, it was fantastic to actually get to meet a whole bunch of the Rogue Runners Club Australia guys. If you don't know anything about the Rogue Runners, I will put a link up on the video and on the blog post. But essentially, the Rogue Runners Club of Australia are all about running for themselves, but also running for others, running for people who basically can't run. This year they're raising for a little guy called Blaze, who's going through some fairly hefty, I mean for like a 4-year-old, he's going through some massive therapy to enable him to walk and do some of the basic things that we take for granted. So it was awesome to catch up with those guys. They're a good bunch of guys. I'm proud to be to call myself a rogue, yeah, I'll put the link up and you can look into that. Also, I think on the other side of Australia, the action was in Toowoomba, in Queensland. Now, Monique, who was a recent profile on the Shit Sorter Files, Maramon, completed her first marathon, her first full marathon. So congratulations on that, Monique. It was, I believe it was 4 hours 21 something, which is absolutely unbelievable. That's like less than 2 hours, more than 2 hours off the time that I did, and I took all day, so that's not that hard. So that was impressive. That was fantastic. I know that you were nervous as anything in the lead up. We were discussing it because we were doing the profile at the time, and we were discussing it behind the scenes, and you were posting on the page, and you were really worried, and all those the natural things that come a week and 2 weeks before the marathon were bubbling up, and then you basically went out and smashed it. So congratulations. And just a little side note, just to say well done to Running Girl for doing an unbelievable thing of running a 10k and then being there to run the final lap with you. So that's just an amazing example of how supportive the running community is. Now, talking to the running community, I just want to mention Lynn, also the page will be Wait and Run, Lynn Blair. I know that an awful lot of people who will be watching this video will know who she is. She's currently recovering in hospital. I know that most of you have been posting on her page and posting on her personal profile and wishing her well, but I just want to add to that, and I've done that, but I want to add to that with this video today and just say we're all thinking of you, Lynn. Get well soon. Don't try to recover too soon. Don't try and go running before the doctor says you can. I know it's going to be incredibly frustrating not being able to, but I know that your friends over in Brisbane are rallying around you. So take advantage of that. let them wait on your hand and foot, and get well soon. And we hope to see you back on online, and hearing stories of you running. So yeah, get well soon. So a couple of times in that, I think I've mentioned the shit sorter files. That was a question that cropped up this week. I actually posted up a question: who would be interested in being profiled. The question came from somebody who's relatively new to the page, and they said, "Yeah, I understand this is to do with stories, but what is this?" So those that have been there been with the page and the blog since it all started, which was like June, July, will know what it's all about. And I've kind of, I guess, made this assumption in my head that everybody knows. Essentially, it's just it's something for a bit of fun, to help people connect and learn more about people in the Facebook running community, mostly the Facebook running community. And it's really based on the concept that when I was training, when I did my training and ran the marathon and continued the running journey since, I've realised that there was a backstory. I had a backstory. There was stuff that was coming to the surface. There was stuff that needed to be dealt with. There was a kind of therapy going on or whatever. But as I connected with more and more runners online, it became clear that this was actually a fairly common theme, a fairly common occurrence, that running wasn't just for fitness purposes necessarily. That running was actually giving people, there was a fairly classic template of there were issues there, and there were things going on in somebody's life, and then there was this kind of light bulb moment where enough was enough type thing, and running became, perhaps in the short term, running was just a solution to something, one particular trivial item, but in the long term, running has become a way of life. Even running has become a bigger solution to a whole range of things that were going on in people's lives, and has improved lives, and I'm seeing more and more that running genuinely just it changes lives. It changes lives for the better, and whether that's through things like the Rogue Runners that are literally changing lives by fundraising for others, or whether it's at an individual level where taking up running and learning learning about yourself is changing your own life, and through changing your own life, then maybe that spreads out and changes other lives. So that's really where it was a morning run. I was just plodding along, and then the idea just came to me that it'd be nice. It'd be a nice thing to do. It'd be a good, useful resource. It'll be an interesting read or whatever to just contact. And for me, it was a way of contacting other runners. It was a way of me reaching out and just sort of becoming an active part of this running community that's on Facebook that is just so amazing. So really, that's how it started, and it's been, we do one a week. Basically, I do one a week. There's essentially is a list of questions that I put out there that provide a sort of a framework around which you can tell your story. So you don't have to necessarily worry that you don't know where to start, don't know what to tell people, you don't know what to say. And then really that's taken and it's sort of reformatted and laid out in a way that it's then posted on a blog post on nomoremrfatguy.com.au. If you go to that website, you will see on the menu somewhere there's shit sorter files menu option. If you look at that, you'll see that the profiles that have been done so far, there's a diverse range of profiles on there already. Some very interesting stories. There are stories that will just touch your heart. There are stories that will resonate. There are stories that will inspire, and there are stories that will maybe even encourage you to stop and think about your own life and get out and change it. So that's really, I guess, the shit sorter files is part of my personal personal mission that has come out of this running since the marathon. It's really this, that there are stories there, stories that need to be told, and by telling stories you can get some good information out there and provide that inspiration and motivation. Because if you tell your story, which is really all that I'm doing with the video and the blog and the page and other people telling other people's stories. If you tell your story, you just never know who in the world is going to be reading, watching, listening, and then which part of your story, one line, may possibly just resonate, just flick a switch, just trigger something, and then you have you will have changed the world. You will have changed one life. That life may go and change, may cause changes in other lives. So, don't think that if you're thinking maybe it's an interesting concept, but I don't really have much of a story to tell. Think again, because some of the simplest, most straightforward stories that you just don't think that you've done anything extraordinary yourself may actually be just enough to, there will be something about it that just resonates with somebody, and it may just be enough to change your life. And changing your life, if you can change your life for the better, then that's made your existence even more worthwhile as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if I can change one life, even just one, over the course of doing all these blogs and videos and so on, then it will have been worth the effort. I mean, not only have I changed my life with the running, but to be able to have that impact is just, it's what life's all about, really. So I think I've probably run out of time there. Once again, get well soon, Lynn. All the best to everybody that's running this weekend. Congratulations to everybody that put in performances last week, and I'll speak to you next week. Okay, bye.